r/facepalm. News does a report on missing/murdered Aboriginal women and they use a white girl at Coachella wearing a hairdress as a picture. Murdered by his own words. In my day, the word awesome was reserved for things like curing polio and walking on the moon, not for food or TV shows. A multi-paddle, multi-ball, ping pong match between two octopuses would be awesome to watch. Dan isn't the stupid one here. After all the aftermath and destruction of the Notre Dame fire, the altar and cross remained untouched. Please explain to me how you don't believe in God after seeing this. Because the melting point of gold is 1064 degrees Celsius and a wood fire burns at around 6000 degrees Celsius. Damn, you're a That fire was probably burning between 900 and 1200 degrees Fahrenheit. 870-year-old dry wood, probably oak, burns a lot. 1200 degrees Fahrenheit is 650 degrees Celsius, Professor. For the love of God, think of the bears. What the Why is bearskin condoms a thing? Why would you want a condom made out of bearskin? Isn't that fucking animal cruelty? I have been informed that it is bearskin condoms. I'm sorry. Flat Earth conference being held on a cruise ship guided by navigation based on spherical planet. All aboard the Flat Earth cruise. Just don't tell them about nautical navigation. Flat Earthers, who believe the Earth is a large disk, may be shocked to find the ship's navigation is based on a spherical planet. No title. Man shouts that alligator, jumps into lake, and is killed by alligator. This guy'll tell you how to get in shape. Pro tip, he won't. There's no better way to get in shape than to prepare for a triathlon. This guy'll tell you. I'm that guy, and no, I won't tell you that. Reddit meme on Facebook. This genuinely makes no sense on there. Ooh buddy. Oops. Sorry people who sort by hot. People who sort by new already ate all the pizza. Individual banana wrappings. If you ask me to define human stupidity in just one image. 2019 folks. Flying cars. Nope. Flat earthers. Yep. The cities in the background are approximate 16 miles apart. Where is the curve? Please explain this. With the circumference of 24,901 miles, you are looking at a curvature of around 0.2 degrees, or a little more than 10 feet at 16 miles away. May I say, that curvature is still significantly higher than your IQ/TIFU. Today I f***ed up by submitting hardcore furry erotica instead of my final paper. So, I'm currently a 4th year computer science student at a pretty respected university and was looking to graduate this semester. One of the classes I was taking was a class in modern advancements and trends in the field of technology. While the class didn't require too much heavy lifting, it still was a higher level one and required a good amount of work. For our final, our professor had assigned us a 20-page research paper into a current or possible future technology of our choice within the field. I did my paper on helium-3 power generation. I worked my ass off on this paper, and in the end, was super proud of it. The papers were due last night at midnight, and I held off on submitting my final draft till the end, to get it as clean as possible. This is where I f***ed up big time. Let me tell you a little about myself. I don't work a normal job. I tried it in my first year of school and I really didn't like it. I've worked internships when they came up, but outside of that I really didn't work. This and being a student really doesn't mix well though. So, I had to make money some way. For the past 3 years I've gotten by on writing hardcore erotica on commission. Specifically, for furries. I would write anything. Any fetish, any premise, anything. In some parts of that community I became really popular. At one point I was making almost $2,500 on Patreon along with the amounts I charged to my customers. Am I proud of this? No. I have written some really disgusting stuff, but it paid the bills and the money was too good to pass up. I told myself the minute I got a real job I was cutting and running from this work. Well, this brings us to last night. I had not gotten any sleep for the past few nights. I had multiple projects due, that in the span of a few days. I was running on nothing but coffee and Rockstar. I was nothing more than a walking corpse, and wanted to do nothing but sleep. I ended up doing my last read over of my final paper, and submitted it before sleeping. However, instead of submitting my final paper, I somehow submitted one of the commissions I was working on. This commission is not light either. It is almost 10 pages long and contains a variety of things including vor and scat. So, I went to bed. Submissions for the final locked, and my academic career was sentenced to death then and there. When I woke up this morning I checked my grades for my other classes before noticing an email from my professor. All it says was to come to his office after class today. I want to fucking die right now. I don't know how I'm going to explain why instead of my final I submitted a hardcore erotic story with a wolfman jacking off in a dragon's stomach. But yeah, I fucked up big time. TLDR, in my final semester at college, instead of submitting my final research paper, I submitted hardcore furry erotica someone paid me to make. Professor wants to talk, and I want to die. Obligatory update. Well, I just left his office, and I still want to die. Not as much though. I took some advice from here, and printed my paper out, and had it with me. I won't lie, when I sat down with him, I was already almost in tears from the stress and embarrassment. I guess he picked up on that, because he tried to be as nice as possible, and told me to calm down and just explain what happened. I ran down pretty much everything I said here. While he didn't agree with the avenue I was taking to make money, he understood why I was doing it. He had checked the submissions last night after the deadline and my submission's name stuck out immediately. It was along the lines of customer_commission_second draft point doc. I've taken a class from him before and was an A student, so he guessed I had submitted the wrong file on accident. He told me he read the first page and realized it probably wasn't meant for him to read. I gave him the copy I brought and he accepted it. He told me to email him the file and he would replace the one I had submitted and that we would pretend this never happened. He seemed to at least have a good sense of humor as he told me that what I had originally submitted was well written, at least from what he read. Like I said, I still want to f***ing die right now. At least he understood that I'm just an idiot and not malicious. Thanks I guess for the advice and helping me through the nervous breakdown. Today I f***ed up by eating first and asking questions later. My fiance and I have been eating keto for the last 3 months. She recently bought these butter bombs that you put in your coffee/hot tea that adds fat to your diet. I saw half of one on the countertop and decided to give it a go because I hadn't used one yet. I proceeded to make my tea that has cacao butter, coconut oil, hemp seed, and a bunch of other stuff in it, but this time adding in that butter bomb. I threw it in the blender and glugged it down. I thought it was weird that it didn't melt/blend/mix all the way, but drank it nonetheless. It didn't taste terrible, but it made the drink a weird consistency. TLDR, I ate air freshener wax thinking it was a keto fat bomb, because I'm a fat ass. Today I f***ed up by not realizing cheese isn't supposed to hurt you. I guess this is 3 decades in the making, but I only discovered it Saturday, so it feels like a very fresh FU. This weekend I was eating a sandwich with some extra sharp Parmigiano Reggiano cheese flakes on it, and I made the comment over voice chat with my friends that it was so good, but so sharp it was tearing up my mouth. I had a momentary pause before a chorus of puzzled friends chimed in at the same time to ask me to elaborate. You know, it's extra sharp. It really cuts and burns my gums and the roof of my mouth. And that's when my friends informed me that none of them have this reaction. And furthermore, no one has this reaction. I hear several keyboards going at once with people having alt-tab to Google around, and our best web style guess is that I have an allergic reaction to some histamines common in sharp cheeses, and that I've had this reaction for 30 years, and that I always assumed everyone had it. What the hell do you mean when you call it a sharp cheese, if that's not what you're talking about? I figured the mild sharp spectrum for cheeses was like the mild hot spectrum for spicy foods. I love spicy foods. I love sharp cheeses. I thought they were the same kind of thing, where they were supposed to hurt you a little bit. Apparently sharp just means flavorful or tangy. TLDR, I have an allergy to some cheese protein, and for 30 years I've been thinking that sharp cheese is supposed to sting. r/jokes. A big city doctor visits a Native American tribe full of men, and he asks, how do you guys relieve your sexual tension? Simple, just come down to the river tomorrow and we'll show you. The next day the doctor shows up and sees a group of men near a donkey. One man says, "Since you're our guest you get to go first." The doctor, not wanting to go against custom, starts to kiss, then proceeds to have sex with the donkey. Then a man in the group asks, "Are you almost done, doc? We need the donkey to cross the river in order to get to the tribe of women." Donald Trump was asked what the J in Donald J. Trump stood for. He said genius.